Hey YouTube, this is Mike Rickman coming from you with Team Prominence. Today I'll be doing a deck profile on my Bujin Shaddolls. I took this deck to two locals, same ones, but different days. One of the days was last Monday, and the other day was this past Saturday. A deck profile was supposed to be uploaded to our channel, but the video wouldn't finish uploading, so I have to do a double feature. So I'm just gonna let you guys know. Last Monday, I took this deck to Toylynx at we only had 4 rounds. Round 1 I played against Sylvans, I won 2-0. Chaos Dragons was round 2, I won 2-0. Evilswarms was round 3, I won 2-0. And round 4 was Madolches, I won 2-1. So I came first on that Monday. So this Saturday that just passed by, we had 4 rounds again. There was another card game with hosting a regionals there, so the player count was pretty small. Round 1 I played against Geargias, I won 2-1. Round 2 I played against one of my teammates who's using Mermails, I won 2-0. Round 3 I played against Burning Abyss, I lost 1-2. And round 4 I played against Madolches, I lost 0-2. And with my crap 2-2 record, I surprisingly made it to the top 8. So in my top 8 match, I played against the same Madolche guy that beat me in round 4, and I won 2-1. Then I made it to the top 4, and I played against a different Burning Abyss guy, and I won 2-0. Then in my finals round, I played against the same Burning Abyss guy who beat me in round 3, and I lost 0-2. So I came second that day, and now without further ado, let's get to the Bujin Shaddolls. I feel like I'm playing more Bujins than Shaddolls in this deck. I feel like Bujins is the main and Shaddolls is the archetype support, but here we go. So you play 3 Yamatos. This card you need to open up with as soon as possible. Provides a lot of pressure, and you need to get those relics in the grave. This is pretty much your only way to stand alone against other decks. If you don't have Yamato in your early game, you're going to fall real behind. 1 Mikazuchi provides the Bujin Carnations that you need from your deck. 1 Harume to extend your plays or put more board pressure on your opponent. Run the 2 Hares, the 2 Turtles, your basic relics to protect Yamato or any other Bujin that you would need. I run 2 Cranes because in this deck you don't want to run too much Cranes, as you're going to be using Fusion with your light relics. And Crane you're only going to use with Fusion if you have no Bujin on board or if you're really winning the game. So, and then use Sinew as your 3rd Crane because you can use it with Fusion by sending it from the hand or deck depending on how the scenario looks on the board. That's the Bujin count. We're going to go into the Shaddolls. You run 2 Beasts, help you draw a card. Run 2 Dragons, helps you pop the back row. 1 Falco to have its reoccurring presence. You can also use it for Synchro, but I never get the Synchro with it yet, so what a shame. And 1 Hedgehog to help you search the Fusion or a Shadow Monster from your deck, depending on the scenario really with the Shadow Monsters, as they're mostly the support count. That's the monster lineup at 18 though. We're going to get into the spells. I run 3 Tenki. You pretty much have to run this card, search Yamato as quick as you can. 2 Power Dualities, you gotta find that Yamato. Consistency is key pretty much with this deck. And Power Duality can also search for key pieces you would need later in the game if your model is already in your hand. 2 MST because Dragon doesn't do enough. 2 Chalice because you need to have more negation. 3 Shadow Fusions, it's pretty much mandatory in this deck. So using Fusion is very strong. Your opponents are going to, if they XZ, can benefit off with your Fusion, and if not, you can throw a relic or a Shadow Monster in your hand to the grave, and it just helps with Yamato as well. 2 Bujin Carnations to help you, if you're falling behind, it helps you pick it back up. And having Bujin Carnation and Shadow Fusion in the same hand, and you're falling behind, is pretty strong. I'm just gonna say that. 1 Book of Moon and 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is there because you can send the relics or the Shadow Monsters to the grave, depending on what you want to do with them. So yeah, that's the spell lineup at 16. Sorry. We're gonna get into the traps. I run the 1-ofs. I feel like Compulse is the strongest this format, Bottomless being the weakest. And then I run the 2 Vanity's Emptiness to shut out Special Summon decks, which is very strong in this meta. And I like 2 more than 3 because I don't want to clog my hand too much with too much emptiness. If you understand what I mean, I don't want too much of these in the same hand. Okay, and that's the traps at 6. Okay, that's the main deck. Let's get to the extra. I run 2 Winda. I have got her out several times, so depending on what deck you play, she's very good against. Some decks that don't really care about the special summon more than once, she's not worth she's not worth bringing out, honestly. So it depends on what deck you're playing, but she came out for me several times. Construct will come out more than usual, and he's the strongest fusion, I feel. And his +1 send to the grave is pretty strong. 2 Susanoo, your basic Bujin, you're gonna go into. 1 Kagasuchi, used him several times. So yeah. I have 2 Castells and 1 Diamond Dire. I use these in unison with the Bujin monsters because when you have Bujin Carnation, the Bujin monsters might not be enough to get rid of the threats on the board. So having utility tools to get rid of the big monsters, or even popping, like, you know, back row cards you wouldn't like to see game 2 and 3 helps a lot. So that's why they're there. But all Monday and Saturday, I never used any of them. I never used Exciton Knight or 101 or Dweller or Heartland Draco, and I never got Vulcan out once. But Vulcan is good because he's another compulse on legs, so I'd rather have him. I had Leo at one time, but I never liked Leo. I like Vulcan better. And then that's the extra deck. Let's get to the side. I run 2 Maxis because special summoning is pretty relevant this format. You gotta have the 3rd MST. I run 2 Night Beams because a lot of the traps this format are very reactive, so Night Beam will not allow them to chain to Night Beam pretty much. 1 Soul Release because there's a lot of graveyard oriented decks this format. 1 Time Space Trap Hole to stop a lot of special summonings that go on. I mean, stopping 1 special summon monster for 1,000, I think that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. 2 Black Hornet Heavens because there are some decks running around that use XZs, especially Madolches. Even with the new hypes of the new tier decks that came out for Duelist Alliance, Madolches are still a strong force to reckon with, and I would still keep Black Hornet Heaven in my side because there's still Madolche players around, at least for my locals anyway. I run 2 of the Band Played On. This card is very strong against certain decks, this format. I think I like CG and Dirge at one point, but I think this card is a little stronger, so I would keep the Band Played On. 2 Debunks because, like I said, too much graveyard orientation this format. And then I have Dark Trap Hole and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. And yes, I'm aware I would rather run the 2nd Shadow Imprisoning Mirror over Dark Trap Hole, but at the moment I only have 1, so bear with me as I have to have a filler in my extra deck. But that's pretty much it. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I know our channel is still being worked on, so bear with us. We've been quite busy. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace.